Hey viewers, this is SkyFi Audio from Glen Rock, New Jersey. Today we're featuring a special build that we just completed. It's a EMT 948 broadcast turntable. Pretty special piece, got a lot of great history behind it. This one in particular came from the BBC radio. We love the 948. It's really a workhorse in the industry, and many audiophiles have been discovering its benefits for home use. So it comes in a sort of industrial design, and we wanted to make it a bit more consumer friendly. So we did a few things to it to get it ready for someone's home. I'm going to feature that in this video today. Again, this is SkyFi Audio from Glen Rock, New Jersey. Please subscribe to our channel if you enjoy these videos, and our website is skyfiaudio.com. So the EMT 948, again, a broadcast quality turntable. It is a monster, weighing at 65 pounds before the modifications. We figured this probably landed a little closer to 80 pounds when we're done with it. The 948 was meant to be sunken into a table or a surface of some sort. Hence, it has these handles here to lift it out of a table. So you would generally have a booth or a console. You would cut a hole into it and drop one or two of these turntables into it. Doesn't work for home use. So we started by making this aluminum enclosure for it. It's made out of extruded aluminum with custom adjustable feet, so we can get it leveled just precisely. And then we inserted some plexiglass pieces into it. We did the logo, and we left it visible because one of the neat features about the EMT is the card slots. Essentially, because it is broadcast quality and you would need to be able to service this on the fly, the entire turntable's electronics are built with removable and serviceable cards. And I'll go over some of these functions a bit later. So the chassis really gave it some nice rigidity, got it off of the table, and gave us some ability to adjust and level it. The second thing we did, besides the plexiglass, is we lit the internals with LEDs. It's a changeable, programmable Wi-Fi LED to kind of give it a little bit of a cool look to it. And then we inserted a power supply for not only LEDs, but this VU meter that we installed in one of the card slots, which is kind of cool. Since it does have the ability to have line level outputs, we decided to just tap into the headphone output and give it a cool VU meter that shows when music is playing. This can all be turned off if you're not into the look of it, but it's part of our custom build. And lastly, we kind of redesigned the cover and how it attaches on there. We added a really high quality center weight puck system to it. All right, so the 948, one of the neat features of it is in fact a sprung turntable. If you push down on the platter itself, you see there is some give to it. And that's what these clamps here are for. This allows you to lock it into place for transport and essentially release it when you're ready to use it. It has one on each side, pretty cool feature. Another thing, going through the features on the front, we've got the 33, 45, and 78 selector. And then these three buttons are pretty neat. The first one raises and lowers the tone arm. It's got a pretty fast acting cueing mechanism. The second button starts and stops the platter, and it does it with incredible precision and speed. Exactly what you'd expect from a turntable to be used in a studio. You would cue up your record, tell the audience a few things, and then you'd want it to start instantly. And that comes from not just the electronics and the motor and the servo control, but the fact that this is in fact a direct drive turntable. So there's no pulleys or belts or anything to stretch and age. It is a direct drive motor. So again, start, stop. And then the final feature is really interesting, is essentially a cueing feature that lets you back up the platter just slightly. And I imagine you would use this if you're searching for the beginning of a song. So you're queuing it up, you're getting ready to release the record. You might put your headphones on and listen to the track while the public can't hear it, and you would just pack it up just to the precise place where the song starts and leave it at that point. And then you'd let it rip by pushing the green light. So again, here's the up and down, stop, and then the queuing backwards feature. All right, a few other things. The stylus tracking force is displayed up top. It has a internal anti-skate, which goes through the table, and actually the weight sits below the surface, which is really neat. It's got a service light here. It also doubles as a power button. And then going to the back, we've got the grounding facilities here, the line level outputs. There's a headphone jack here. I think it's a 5 or 6 pin headphone jack with a headphone amplifier built in. And this particular connector here, old school sort of printer port connector, is for controlling this turntable remotely. If you were to connect it to a console or some other sort of studio control equipment, you'd have access to the start, the stop, the outputs, and everything right in this one connector. Oh, here is the detail on the headphones. It is in fact a 6-pin headphone output. And I've noticed that pins 1 and 5 are your left and right channels, with 6 being the ground, and your balanced outputs. We are using here these adapters to go from balanced to single-ended, but if you're lucky enough to have a balanced or XLR preamp, you would certainly want to use that instead. Like most professional products, this has a multi-voltage selector, so you could use it anywhere from, can't read exactly, but it's pretty low in the range. It must be at least as low as 100 volts and as high as 230 volts, selectable right here. And then the removable IEC cord, which is kind of nice. I know audiophiles like to upgrade the power cords, and it's nice that it's not captive. So pretty simple in the back. Now let me speak a little bit about the outputs. These are line level outputs. There's a card in the front converting the cartridge output in millivolts out to a couple of volts to drive a regular input on a preamp, which is kind of nice. If you don't have a phono preamp, or if you like to just go directly into an auxiliary input, this is what you would use. Now we realize that audiophiles may not want that, so what we can do prior to shipping is we can go ahead and rewire the tone arm and bypass the internal phono amplifier, so that these two outputs are straight from the tone arm or right from the cartridge. So if you're interested in the table, let us know which of the two facilities you'd like for the output, but pretty flexible. Now going back to the front, let me go over some of the cards here. There are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards, and they vary in function. Sorry about the glare, I know it's difficult to see them here, but one of them happens to be a headphone amplifier, the other one is a line amplifier for the preamp. There's an oscillator for setting speed, and there's a 10-watt amplifier card as well in case you wanted to power some speakers from it. And those cards remove pretty easily. Let's have a look at the brochure that comes with the EMT 948, again, broadcast turntable. Here they show it built into a table surface. It's pretty neat. Here you can see the card slots, a very similar setup that we have in ours. A bit here about the tone arm. It's a 3-point tone arm. Its tracking abilities. The tracking force of the stylus tip is produced by spring tension, and the tone arm axis and may be adjusted between 0 and 15 nano. And then bayonet connector allows pickup cartridge to be exchanged easily. And that's another plus of our turntable here, is that we've got essentially the cartridges you would want. We've got a TMD25, which is a mono cartridge. And then we've got mounted on the turntable, also brand new, a TSD15, which is a stereo cartridge. And then we've got an extra head shell here with nothing on it. This is the box for the stereo cartridge. And as you can see, it comes with all the data sheets and everything you would want. Just like as if it was brand new. And I think it was brand new. I'm the one that removed this tag from the stereo cartridge. So you can assume both of these are new. Here's the connector we would use in order to bypass the internal phono amplifier. So we'd wire this to provide straight tone-on control. Going back to the manual, here they talk about the types of cartridges. The TSD15 for conventional stereo, the TMD25 for early mono with a specific tip radius, and then the TND65 early mono records as well, standard groove with a much higher tip radius. So it must be micrometers for radius. And then an empty head shell for other cartridges. So we've got pretty much the 15 to 25 and the empty head shell, which is just what you would want. Here's some of the controls they talk about. One of the things I noticed that we do not have a headphone jack built into us. Our headphone jack is in the back and it is amplified. It's a Pro type headphone connector. We could make a buyer the right cable to connect to that if they wanted. We do not have additional illumination nor the volume control for the amplifier here. But the other three buttons and their speed controls are present. Here's a nice little chart illustrating that multi-pin connector that we talked about and all the abilities that it gives you from just start and stop, lifting, lowering, muting, etc. Here's an exploded view of the chassis with the table and the spring suspension. It is a 4-point spring suspension, all made out of steel. A little blurb about the drive system and the amplifiers. A block diagram illustrating that, and a list of the cards that are available. Here are the turntables in 2 different forms, and all the spare accessories, amplifiers, control boards, a trunk for travel. Here's the oscillator board we discussed, and the interface board, and the push button board. So, and following the power supply and the amplifier card as well. So here's a list of all the cards, list of the cartridges were covered, and how the part numbers are configured for the versions. And that's it. Oh, another thing that's neat is it seems like EMT was part of Barco at some point. Barco, as you know or may know, is a professional video display company. So they either acquired EMT or they're part of the group. So that's it. The EMT 948 from SkyFi Audio, custom build. Check our website if you're interested on this table. Provide feedback. I know there's tons of you out there that know quite a bit more about the 948 than we do. This has been a super fun project. We're very pleased with the results. This is a one-off build, so we don't expect to have any more. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe and check our website at skyfiaudio.com. Thank you.